Employee Editor, how to add employees and how to edit employees using the Employee Editor. Under Management, Site Setup, and Website Setup, you'll see that there's an employee area, and you can go into editing employees in this area here. You can also go to Management, and there's an employee link right into the Employee Editor. Click on Employee Editor, and here you'll see a list of all of your current enabled users within the Magazine Manager, their name, their job title, whether they have administrative rights, and whether or not they're enabled. All employees would show employees that are also disabled, possibly historical reps, people who have previously worked for the company that may have important historical information. You won't lose that, you'll just disable the employees. To add a new employee, you'll click the Add New button. Before we do that, just to mention, pricing for the Magazine Manager is based on the number of enabled users, so be sure to disable any users who are not using the software. Sharing user IDs is a violation of the terms of service and can result in immediate deactivation. So we'll go ahead and click Add New, and we will add a name here, first name and last name, job title if you know that, a phone number. You could add their cell phone. This information will pull into any proposals that are created for that rep, so you want to make sure that you have the most accurate information here. Okay. If you include a birth date, you do not have to include the year. It's simply going to wish that person a happy birthday on the week of their birthday on the home page in the inbox. Hire date, you can also include that. If you want to include the year, you can. Okay. Address is obviously important if you're going to be giving a return address for your company to your customers on any of your templates. Okay. And you must have an email address. This is the most important, because if your employee forgets their password, they will be able to get it through their email address. We will never give out an email address or a password to anyone here at the Magazine Manager. That would have to come through administrators, or that would have to come by the person who lost their password, clicking on the password button, and it would email them their password. It will also email that password or the notification to any administrators of the site so that you know that that person was trying to access their password. And then of course you would just put in a password here. You would select a department. You must have a department, email address, and a password in order to get to save this person, and decide if you want them to have administrative rights. Administrative rights are allowing that person, this Brian, to have the management tab, meaning they can set up rate cards. They have access to administrative rights such as voiding invoices and other special authority that's been given. So we always recommend that you only have 1 or 2 administrators on the site. Obviously don't want to give everybody administrative access. So you have departments, administrator, yes or no. You have show in lists and see activity detail. These are to remove people from showing up in specific lists. Most of the time it's used for after a person leaves the company. You no longer want them to show up in your list of options, yet there is still historical date tied to them. Same thing with activity detail. When printing activity or running activity reports, you don't want to see their callbacks in their meetings, you would select no there. Can create contracts. It's a 2-step process in the Magazine Manager of creating a contract. First, you create a proposal, send to the client, and when that proposal is returned and the client approves it, you would click a button and convert it to live data, which means live contracts. If you want to allow your sales team access to do that, you would leave it as yes. If not, you would leave it as no, or place it as no. Can delete customers, same thing. If you want to allow your customers to be able to add customers to the, or your your sales team to be able to add customers to the database, but not be able to delete them, you would want to select no here, or yes if you want them to. Can edit notes and can delete notes. There's a yes, no, or users only. So you might want to select that people can or cannot edit their notes or delete their notes or only their own notes. And then can edit goals, yes or no. Most of the time people leave that as a management, but it's an option there. And then can edit announcements. Announcements is the announcement homepage here. If you want to allow maybe an administrative assistant or somebody to be able to update this announcement bulletin board page, you could then select yes here in the employee editor, and that would give them access to editing those announcements. And then save information. Now, if you did not want to enable this salesperson yet because they weren't ready to get started in the system, you could simply select no or select disabled. If you hit enabled and then you go to save information, it's going to simply ask you, are you sure that you want to enable this employee? And by clicking OK, that you are accepting the charges for an additional user. Keep in mind that we do not prorate our user fees. If a user is enabled sometime during the month, there is a flat rate of $45. If you need to or want to enable somebody, it is best usually to enable them at the beginning of the month to get the most for your user. And then just click on OK, and now that salesperson's enabled. Once you've done this, you'll want to go back into that person that you just added, and you'll want to edit them. And the reason being is that once you go back in, you'll notice that there are now additional links here. Edit additional security simply sets up the different ways that you can allow this person that you're setting up to see or edit other reps' customer information. So you can check off the associate that you wish to allow this employee to edit or view using the buttons to check or uncheck all reps to select them from them. So here, if I want Brian to be able to see and edit only his own contacts, I would just select Brian. If I wanted Brian to see and edit Karen's contacts as well, I could select Karen's. If I wanted him only to view Karen's contacts but still be able to see them, I would select View Only. Okay. And then when I'm done, I would hit Save Information. To edit and view sales goals, again, we said yes or no to edit goals, so if we wanted them to be able to edit their own goals, we would select yes, but if we want to edit their goals for them, we click Edit and View Sales Goals. And we'll go into that area here, and we'll cover goals in a separate tutorial. Back to the employee editor. Edit rep zones. You may select specific products that this customer can sell just by checking the boxes, and that would allow them to only see or to only access these products. Or you could leave it access to all zones. Edit commissions. You can set commissions by rate card here. So per rate card, you can set your percentage of commissions. There are some commission reports that go with that. Okay. And then here, edit reps notifications. This simply is telling you what do you want to see in the inbox for this particular sales rep. So for sales team, you want to see my clients. You want to see these kind of things that pertain to their clients. And what I mean by inbox is the homepage inbox right here will display certain notifications besides callbacks and meetings based on what you set up here in this employee editor. Going back to our reps notifications, selecting the ones that we want, and then saving information. If you are a sales manager, you'll want to check things off for all the sales team down here. If you're setting it up for someone in production, you'll want to check the production. And if you're setting it up for someone in AR, you want to check the AR fields. But anyone in sales, you will check My Clients. And hit Save, and then Close. When you're all finished here, you can put any notes in here if you would like regarding this employee, and then hit Save Information. And now that is an enabled employee. If we want to disable an employee, we simply go to that employee, click on Disable, hit Save Information, And now you'll no longer see them in this list of enabled employees, but they'll still be in the list of all employees. And that's how you add and